An emergency warning remains in place tonight for bushfires raging out of control on Kangaroo Island. These pictures are just in, showing the ferocity of the fire in the west of the island, as well as a convoy of fire trucks travelling through the fireground as day seemingly turns to night. It's feared the entire Flinders Chase National Park could be lost, and authorities are urging holidaymakers to avoid visiting the island if they don't need to be there. Claire Campbell joins us now live from KI. Claire, what's the latest?
Well, Emma, the cool change is now sweeping across the island, but that's just pushing the fire in a different direction. The Country Fire Service is warning that fire is now approaching the town of Vivon Bay, and it's urging people in that area to evacuate if it's safe to do so. Much of the island's western end is still under emergency warning tonight, and extra firefighters are being brought in tonight from the mainland to relieve some very tired local crews. Let's take a look at how the situation escalated today. Fire jumped containment lines and tore through the Flinders Chase National Park in all directions, triggering an emergency warning for the whole western half of Kangaroo Island.
Regrettably, it hasn't disappointed. It has done exactly as we anticipated, much more quickly and more fiercely than we anticipated.
This fire tornado shows the intensity of the conditions, the fire fanned by gusty winds and soaring temperatures. The National Park is home to the island's popular attractions, including remarkable rocks. But the island's mayor fears most of the national park has now been burnt.
North Coast looks like it's been hit by a nuclear bomb.
It's unclear whether the Flinders Chase Visitor Centre or the Western KI Caravan Park survived, with conditions still far too dangerous for assessment teams to enter.
I will be astonished if homes are not lost by this fire.
Staff at the luxurious Southern Ocean Lodge were forced to shelter as the ferocious blaze approached. Hundreds of tourists were evacuated in the days prior, but the Country Fire Service is warning some people ignored their warnings.
It's disappointing to me to note that reports are coming back that some people did not heed the warnings to leave early.
Extra firefighters and water bombers were called in as local firefighters battle fatigue and exhaustion on top of the fires.
Not good. They are completely exhausted. So I feel for the local ones. There's some fresh ones that have come over.
By late afternoon, the Duncan fire burning in the northern part of the island was contained. A relief centre has been set up at Kingscote, but authorities are now warning holidaymakers to avoid the island altogether.
I'm bleeding for my community at the moment. They're exhausted. They're totally exhausted, and it's really, really tough to keep cracking.
The ravine fire has blackened 14,000 hectares, including parts of Shauna Black's timber plantation.
There's a lot of plantation timber down there which belongs to us and also to independent growers. So there are a number of growers on the island who've already been impacted.
Wind gusts of up to 55 kilometres an hour on the island have made fighting the fire incredibly difficult. Staff from the timber plantation are assisting more than 150 Country Fire Service firefighters and farm firefighting units to bring this blaze under control as the milder conditions set in.
And Claire, how are the conditions looking tomorrow?
Much milder, thankfully, tomorrow. Showers and a top of 19 degrees here on Kangaroo Island. Hopefully will bring some much needed relief on the fire ground. Just for an update, I'm joined now by the Incident Controller, Ian Tanner. Ian, it's still a very unpredictable and dangerous fire out there. What can we expect overnight?
So the fire's currently burning on a westerly across the bottom of the island in very dense fuels, very dense scrub. We have a thunder cell, a storm cell, that's actually been created by the fire, which could have very strong and unpredictable winds as a result of that thunder cell. So that's making it even more dangerous and even harder for us to suppress the fire in that scrub vegetation, which means it's still going to keep moving towards Vivon Bay. Hopefully in 2 or 3 hours' time the wind will go around to the southwest, and then we might finally have a chance to actually start fighting this fire. At the moment we're pulling resources back. We've had too many close calls, but in 2 or 3 hours' time we hope that we'll be able to start undertaking some sort of suppression activity on this fire, and it is going to take at least all night for us to get even close to controlling it.
Thanks, Ian, and all the best there. Still clearly a lot of work to do, Emma.
Thanks, Claire. Claire Campbell reporting.